I learned a great deal about value on a vacation I took about 1.5 years ago. Yes, I'm going to tell you about my vacation story, God help you. But this one I think you'll like. Question, how many of you have ever been to Cabo San Lucas? Anyone ever go to Cabo? Cabo is great. It's great. You know, it's right there on the very, very southern tip of Baja California. Great, great, great. So I went there, and I was the guest. My wife and I were the guests of a friend of ours who had a lavish, gorgeous, beautiful timeshare condo. And there was another couple, so there were 6 of us all together. We took the same flight, we all arrived, and we checked in. Of course, as soon as we check in, they whisk margaritas to us, and it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And as you are checking in, as the guest of a timeshare owner at one of these resorts, I must tell you, the check-in people, the management staff, pretty much smells and tastes raw red meat, right? Because if you're the guest of a timeshare owner, in their mind, you're a prospective timeshare owner. And so as we checked in, the manager said, Mr. Beals and Mr. the other guy that was with us, would you and your wives like to join us for a lavish Mexican breakfast buffet tomorrow morning and learn more about our property? Now, most people, when they hear about a breakfast at the timeshare with the sales rep, they run like hell, right? Because they want to spend their time sunbathing or whatever the case may be. And certainly both of our wives were like, no thanks. But my friend and I said, yeah, we'll do it. In fact, I, sick as I am, was actually excited. You know, being a real estate guy, I'm like, I want to see what the pitch is. And not too many things appealed to me more than the words Mexican breakfast buffet. So I thought, okay, this is good. I went to that, and it was a good buffet breakfast, by the way, really good. At any rate, the sales rep that sat with us and entertained us was an amazing person. I really enjoyed her. She was brilliant, she was smart, she was interesting, she was beautiful, she was everything. And we talked and talked and talked, and we probably stayed there for, I don't know, maybe 2.5 hours, actually. And the sell was very, very soft. And it didn't come till the very end. Not until she had asked me all sorts of questions, and we talked about Mexican history and culture and tourism and who knows what. But at the very end, she says, you know, Jeff, a man of your stature. That raised my eyebrows, and go on, say more. A man of your stature would really benefit by pre-planning his vacations. You work so hard. You have so much going on with all the travel you do that sometimes it can be hard to take a vacation, can it, Jeff? I'm like, yeah, it's kind of hard. Well, if you plan your vacation and pay for it in advance in a timeshare, you're forced to take it. You're forced to take that time off. That will give your children memories for a lifetime and make your wife very happy. I heard that and I said, tell me more about that happy wife thing. That kind of appeals to me. I'd kind of like to know a little bit more about that. It was a great pitch, albeit soft, because she knew what I valued. She laid it right there on the platter. I was so impressed, I didn't buy it. The reason is, why would I buy it when I can use my friend's timeshare for free? But if I didn't have access to that, I think I would have. Because it was so good. I saw a different view of value on the same trip. You know, when you're walking in those tourist towns in Mexico, there are always those street hawkers there, right? Everyone's trying to sell you stuff like a whale watching tour or this sort of thing or that sort of thing. Oh, a t-shirt to bring back home, whatever the case may be. And you kind of get used to saying, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, no, thank you, right? As you're walking along. And then after a while, you become very jaded and don't even pay attention to the street hawkers, even if they're sometimes in your face. Well, we were walking one day in the town square in Cabo San Lucas, and my wife and her friend, those 2 women, were walking ahead of me. I was a few paces back, just kind of taking advantage of vacation mode, right? And all of a sudden, this guy comes up to me, whips open this case, and there's this silver jewelry in it. He says, hey man, why don't you get one of these for your pretty lady up there? I, being the mischievous sort of guy, I said, oh, her? He says, yeah. I said, she doesn't even like me. He goes, maybe this will help. I said, oh, it's hopeless, man. It's hopeless. Nothing I could buy her would ever make her like me again. He goes, buy one for your next wife. So I bought one. Not because I'm planning to get a new wife or anything, but because I thought the pitch was so good, and $50, I could afford that. I bought one. I thought he deserved it. I thought he earned it. 2 views of value. The woman at the timeshare, she had the luxury of figuring out what it was that made me tick. This guy didn't have the time. Think about it. His whole life is, this is all he gets his whole life. No, thank you. Leave me alone. No, thank you. So he has to think quick, right? And he had to try and assume what value was as best he could.